the assumptions that go into liberal democracy are simply ridiculous. And voting puts your seal of approval on this system.
It reminds me of the famous opening chapter of Propaganda by Edward Bernays, Freud's nephew, 1928. And he claimed that there's an unseen mechanism in all democratic societies, and it's the conscious and intelligent manipulation of the organized habits and opinions of the masses. And his basic point was that we're governed, and our minds are molded, our tastes are formed, our ideas suggested, largely by men we have never heard of. The image he used was of a small group who pull the wires and control the public mind.
You'll go up to the average, even fairly well-educated voter and ask why he believes what he believes. They're not going to tell you the truth. They really don't know. These things, these confused ideas that have developed since childhood, and it's strange when you ask them, why is it that of all the possibilities in the history of political science, going back to the Old Testament and before, of all those ideologies, why is the one that's correct the one that you live with? This 2021, that these are the ideas that are correct of all the God knows how many systems and ideologies that have existed in the past. Only this one gets your support. And of course, it's not going to be a pleasant conversation after that. No one does a pro-con list as to what ideologies they're going to support, because of course they believed nothing before, so now they have to decide. That never happens. And it comes from these forces. I mean, I came across Bernays for the first time, and Michael Jones. You understand the power of advertising, the power of social sanction, the power of big money. People supporting something ridiculous like transgenderism today would never, they'd mock the idea if this were 50 years ago or 20 years ago. But now it's an issue because it's in the air. People are talking about it. And it doesn't take very long to manipulate people who, are working 50 hours a week, who have families with everybody else. They don't have time to get into this kind of thing. They don't really have the independence, even if they did, or the education necessary to make sense out of all of this. I've always said before that to vote, to believe in liberal democracy is automatically to say that political science and history and economics are not specialized fields, that anyone can have an opinion and they're equal to everybody else. And we know that's absolutely ridiculous. With people who are deeply alienated to begin with, plus all the debt, all the work, how much time are they going to spend on political ideology? So they end up taking a ready-made system from Fox News or CNN or a class they had in college, and this is what they're going to go with. And so asking them where they get their ideology from is not going to be an interesting answer, because of course no one really knows. And the time for a full-time person to have, not to mention you have to have the independence. You're a full-time scholar. You still have to have the independence to say, if I come up with position X, am I going to get fired? Am I going to get shot for believing this? So even if you do have the knowledge, you still have to have the independence. And how many people can actually fit that? Those who are truly concerned with truth, with the Platonic corpus, the exact same thing, are going to end up like Socrates or Christ. They're not going to end up getting tenured positions. They're not going to end up being on the board of Berkshire Hathaway. They're going to suffer. They're going to be alienated. They're going to be marginalized. They're going to be in prison. That's where people who search for truth end up.
That certainly hits home for both of us.